In order to be able to apply process mining methods to event logs, we need such event logs to fulfill certain minimum requirements. Each event is pretty much an entry in the event log and should have the following attributes at least. First of all, each event should have a reference to a unique case identifier that allows us to group events related to a given process systems. That could be, for example, the order identifier in the context of an order-to-cash process, or the claim ID in the context of a claim handling process. Then the event should have a clear reference to the activity in the business process. For example, register request, examine thoroughly, check ticket. These are all examples of references to process activities. It could be an attribute called process activity or even event name. Last, the event should have a timestamp, the timestamp that indicates when an event has been logged and actually refers typically to the completion of the activity. So if we have these three attributes, then it is possible to do some basic process mining. For example, by grouping together all the events that refer to the same case identifier and ordering these events in terms of their relative timestamps, it is possible to reconstruct sequences of process activities, which are the process instances. And then by taking the union of these activities through the identification of appropriate branching and merging constructs, it is then possible to build the process model that refers to this event log. And so use this process model for automated process discovery, conformance checking, and so on. However, in logs we can find a variety of information. For example, instead of having one timestamp for a given activity, we can have two timestamps. One related to the beginning of the activity, the other related to its completion. Now, if we have both timestamps, it is possible to get some statistics about the duration of the activity, such as mean, max, and average duration of each activity. And we can also determine waiting or idle times between activities, and so compute, for example, delays or bottlenecks. Another important type of attribute is the resource, or the assignee, the person that has been assigned a particular activity in the process to perform. If we have that information, we can also study workload or resources, but even generate different types of models, such as the social network of resources that participate in the process, and so use this model to study the handover of work between the different resources. If we have other attributes, such as cost, then we can compute costs related to activities as well as overall process costs.